Hello everyone, welcome back to a new replay cast. Here we have, on the right side of the map is going to be sOo as the blue Zerg, and in the top side of this map it's going to be Serral, who will be trying to take on Serral. Now these guys of course have a little bit of history. 2019 IM Katowice in the semi-finals, sOo managed to beat Serral 3-2 to stop him from winning that tournament. Before that, sOo already managed to beat him in 2 best of ones in Nation Wars as well, so Serral definitely would like some revenge here. Now I believe he beat him somewhere this year already. Can't quite remember where, but I believe Serral already got some revenge. But now to finish it off, of course, this would be the perfect opportunity here. Try and take sOo down in the ZVZ. Purity in Industry is the map. Now, of course, one of the characteristics of this map are these weird inhibitor generated zones, which slow down any units that fly through it. You can see that Serral's taking an alternate route with his second Overlord. First Overlord does go through these inhibitor zones. You can check what the pull timing is on this map very easily, as the rush distance, even though there are these slow zones, is very, very short by air. It is really, really short. Now there's also a path through air that doesn't go through these inhibitor zones. You can see here, if you go to the most right side and then to the top side, you'll be able to enter your opponent's base without being slowed. So a lot of the time we see some vision, some defensive vision over here, some defensive vision over here, and the rest of the area can be kind of let free. Now, we have both players opening up with a hedge first, so a very standard opening. Of course, this is kind of a product of this map as well, where it's difficult to do something aggressive because that scout enters so insanely fast. Usually, Zergs only scout once their opponent's hatchery is finished, but at this point, or in this map, you get in your opponent's base at around 140. So a solid 20 seconds earlier, you get to see the pool timing, get to see the gas timing, you get full information, which makes responding to any kind of cheese extremely easy. And thus, we don't see a lot of cheese here on this map, especially on the higher levels. Rush distance also isn't very large, and there is a ramp, even though I don't think it can really be used in any kind of the early defensive, in the early defenses against any kind of very quick cheeses. Talking 12 pool, 13 12s, maybe some link flood of gas pool or pool gas. Third base going down for both players here. Now another characteristic of this map, of course, is the easy defense for the first 3 bases. With this choke, with this ramp, you have very easy concaves as the defending party. So yeah, roach pushes are not that great on this map. We see a fair amount of Mura play as well. We have a third queen on the way here for Serral, who decides to temporarily at least skip the Baning Nest. Might have something to do with that easy defense of this map. Another Overlord on the way as well for Serral, as we see sOo just opening up with that standard Baning Nest in the wall. Third queen is on the way for sOo right now. Fourth queen is on the way for Serral already, so most likely we'll be heading straight into roaches. Now, it's important for sOo to kind of realize this and perhaps try to get a cancel on that third base with a bunch of links, or try to get something done. Otherwise, you just build a Baning Nest for no real reason whatsoever. Evo Chamber going down on the side of sOo here. Could be for +1 links, most likely will be for +1 attack for the roaches. As an Evo Chamber also goes down on the other side for Serral. Now, Serral's building a bunch of links. This is mainly just to establish map control and make sure that he can't get link flooded with banelings on his side. Like, it's okay if he gets attacked and sOo still needs to morph the banelings, but if the banelings morph on his side, it might become a little bit dangerous, as we have Serral getting a full scout off. sOo starts his lair on his natural, and we do indeed have that +1 melee attack. So this is looking a lot like a Mura build, as we have 2 extra gases going down. Wouldn't be surprised to see the 4th gas going down into the main base pretty soon as well. A couple of drones are being built. We have another scout coming in for Serral, who will be able to spot the lair timing. Sees a roach warren, but I'm not quite sure if he's buying that roach warren after seeing this lair timing. I'm definitely not buying that roach warren. We'll see what Serral thinks of it, as he's also getting his own lair. He's getting his 3rd gas for now. There's no 4th gas yet for sOo, which would assume, actually rebuilds his roach warren to create a better, or at least a different wall. 2 spines starting as well. Seems like sOo is a little bit scared of something. I'm not quite sure what he saw. He saw a couple of queens move across the map. He's seen 3-4 roaches as well, so that must be it. I think once sOo realized that this is not a real attack, he will indeed cancel those spines. Now, sOo does not have +1 melee yet. He just has more links at this point. He built a bunch more links as well. We see falling behind in drone count rather significantly at this point. Where Serral's already touching 61 workers, which is kind of an ideal worker count if you're playing roaches. Like 63, 64 is really where you want to go at. You can continuously produce stuff off of 3 bases with 5 gases on that. And we see Serral actually taking 6 gas now. Overlord speed has started. Second Evo chamber is on the way as well. We'll be lining up for a 2-1 timing. So a bunch of links with +1 melee attack. Spire is on the way. 2 extra gases coming down for sOo, who will also be going up to 6 gases. And Serral adds 9 more drones to replace all of the drones that went into extractors and buildings. 2 queens actually do end up falling. Good trade here for sOo. Does need to be a little bit careful though, as Serral's army is growing rapidly. Spire is not quite done yet. He's banking a little bit of gas, which is nice for him, but like I said, he does need to be careful here. Attacks can happen at any time. Infestation pit going down, so Serral definitely smelling what's happening here. Sends in an overseer with overlord speed, of course. Will definitely be able to scout what's going on here. Sees the spire, drops a changeling, like, alright, I know what you're doing. I've seen this before. Spores are starting to go down at this point. 1 per base, couple of queens are being added. We already have 3 queens out. Going up to 6 queens, just to be sure that he can defend these areas in between the bases. Spores defend the mineral lines, and then queens defend the areas in between the bases. Might go even higher than just the 6 queens. We see another queen being produced, so going up to 7 already. Lots of links are on the map. +2 melee attacks is on the way. Now, once +2 melee attacks finishes, of course, bailing runbys become a lot more dangerous, as then they can one-shot workers. I'm not too sure about this attack here. sOo, these roaches have +1 already, 2-shotting the links. Now, the links, of course, are very strong, but this definitely wasn't worth it. Do end up getting 1 queen, but losing a lot of links there. Mutas are jumping on top of these roaches. Spore going down right now. There is 4 queens already on the map. This one definitely won't finish. So maybe the jump with the links wasn't so bad. Managing to kill a couple of queens will help in, like I mentioned before, just trying to attack this general area, which is a very difficult area to defend sometimes. Oh, I love this. Serral pushing 1 spore forward, another spore still in the mineral line. And what? Don't want to be losing any of these queens though. That's pretty poor there by you, Serral. Don't want to be doing that at all. Doesn't really get a Muta yet, I think. No, not a single Muta has fallen. 5 queens have gone down in total so far already. Quick Hive Rush as well as Infestation Pit. Might be going into very fast Vipers. Of course, Vipers do very well usually against these Mutalisks. I'd love to see 1 more spore over here. These roaches are a little bit clueless. Not quite sure what they're doing. +1 Carapace is finishing up right now here for Serral as well. Should help a little bit. How many Mutas do we have? 16 Mutas, only 4 queens. With the bounce, he might actually be able to get another queen if he isn't careful. Oh. It's very, very dangerous here. Oh, he doesn't want to be losing any more queens. He lost so many already. 6 queens have gone down already. 2 more queens are on the way. +2 missile attacks is about to be finished with those +1 flyer attacks. And even though sOo was kind of behind earlier, at least in work count right now, he seems to have evened up very nicely. He's already up on 8 gas. Serral can only be dreaming of an extra base at this point. Oh, Infestor's moving forward. That's not going to be enough here, Serral. 1 fungal does go down. +2 missile attacks are doing quite some damage here. We don't have burrow yet for any of these units. There is 1 spore, but could definitely be jumped at this point. I mean, 18 Mutalisk. There is 1 transfused left, but this spore will just fall the moment it gets targeted. Oh, Viper's in danger right now. Will get jumped. 1 Viper does end up falling. 2 Vipers will end up falling, but for the first time I believe sOo is actually losing some Mutas. 8 Mutas have gone down already at this point, so has to be careful, of course, with these trades. Now he's mining a lot more. He's getting a 5th base. He's getting more workers. 11 Mutas being produced at the time. Going up to 27 Mutalisks. I'd love to see +2 flyer attacks starting as well. Doesn't really seem to be in the works here for sOo, who's making sure there's no 4th base, of course, for Serral. Just checks. It's like, okay, no 4th base. I'm still in a good spot. Gets an infestation pit, couple of extra drones. What else does he have planned as 3 Vipers do once again enter the field? Currently we have 6 queens, 3 infestors, and 3 Vipers. A couple of those queens are running low at this point. Spore's doing a lot of damage to these Mutalisks. We see a bunch of Mutas once again falling. That's 4 Mutas falling there for, I believe, was maybe 3 queens. Of course, those are still good trades in theory for sOo, but does need to be careful, because usually with Mutas, you do need to make something work. Eventually, if the defending player survives long enough without taking any real kind of damage, they can kind of establish their 4th base, and from there on out, you only have melee upgrades. Getting into a lurker battle might be difficult. see a bunch of banelings being... Well, a bunch. I was gonna say we see a handful of banelings, but it's more than a handful. 45 banelings being built right now. So a couple of dozen banelings. 2 run-bys will most likely commence at the same time. 1 run-by is getting... It doesn't have baneling speed yet. What a mistake. Yeah, starts it now. Did finish those spines from earlier. I hadn't noticed that. +2 flyer attack starting. So this actually is really painful for his timing. I think his timing was gonna be quite good. Problem is, of course, without baneling speed, banelings are just so much worse. Lurker then is on the way. Won't finish in time for baneling speed to finish. Or at least the lurkers won't, I think. But that's very nasty here for sOo, who I believe had a very good timing here, actually. Where he probably would have been able to at least kill a bunch of drones in one of the bases with the amount of banelings that he had. Right now, +3 is on the way. More defenses are being built here for Serral, who only has burrow, no burrow movement speed yet. Decides to move out, and I think he actually can at this point. And when I say move out to take a fort base, of course. Get some extra spores in the front line. There's a couple of roaches in front as well. We're just trying to find exactly what's happening here. Sees 1 extra spore being built, and this should kind of trigger a response from him. He's like, oh, wait. Does look like there indeed is a base going down here. Ultralisk Cavern going up as well. +3 melee attacks being researched. And we see a lot of money in the bank here for sOo. Is not quite max yet. Most likely is waiting for that Ultra Cavern to pop. Centrifugal Hooks is about to finish up. 45 veins still on the map. But his timing is about 2 minutes later than it should have been. Just because he forgot the Centrifugal Hooks. Lurkers actually did manage to finish in time. Will help a lot with the defense for this. Couple of Evos being built for walling. Roaches being used as meat shields here. Yeah, these banelings can do absolutely nothing. What a terrible engagement here for sOo. And usually it's fine to take bad engagements, but there is a fort base going down for Serral. Serral is still on 66 workers. He's been trading rather cost efficiently lately. Ooh, Greater Spire on the way for sOo. We never really see Broodlords in this matchup because they can just get abducted into the Hydras. Now we are on 10 gas for sOo. I'd love for him to take the gold base as well. I feel like that would be such a good play. He has complete map control. It just has 2 regular gases, so you either want to be taking Bridge Vespine Geysers, or you want to be taking the gold, something that gives you an extra boost, I feel like. As long as you know, if you're playing a very map control heavy style, I don't see a reason why not to. 2 drones are going down, not sure how, probably a couple of Banes dropping somewhere. Actually 8 drones go down, 3 Evos being built here. Will help once again with those shields. If you put roaches in between the holes, will really mess with the AI of the banelings, who will most likely just be exploding either into roaches or into Evos. Couple of banelings once again rolling in, don't really get anything done. We have +3 missile attacks about to finish up. Greater Spire is basically done at this point. No Corruptors on the way yet. Oh, wait, oh, what am I saying? There's no Corruptors on the way because there's 14 done already. We'll be morphing into Broodlords, and the funny thing here is that usually this would be a terrible play. But at this point, there's really not that much anti-air. The anti-air mainly consists of spores, really. Now, we do see a couple of burrowed roaches moving out to get spotted. But these burrowed roaches, in turn, might be able to figure something out themselves. No, they won't be able to see the Broodlords. Oh, we have an Overseer Scout coming in here for Serral. It's actually going to see that there's a Greater Spire. There is only 6 Hydras. 6 Hydras, the 4 Vipers and the spores are the only anti-air here available. Roaches do end up seeing these Broodlord. Did Serral pay attention? Yes, he does see it. Couple of Hydras should start immediately. No, he can't. He's supply block. Instead starts building more and more spores. Puts a lot of his spores to the front. Now, of course, banelings could run in there. Is there any banelings on the map? There's no banelings. A good play could have been to run in some banelings into these spores, but we're not seeing that happen. A lot of pools already happening, and spores kill air units so fast. It's absolutely insane. Broodlord after Broodlord just being pulled in. There's 5 Vipers here. This doesn't seem like a cost-efficient trade at all here for sOo, who I believe has gotten 2 workers and 2 spores. And the other side of the map, burrow roaches are doing a lot of damage in every single base they are at. 2 roaches here, 3 in the main, or actually 5 in the main, a couple at the 5th base. Oh, very bad trade here for sOo, who lost how many Broodlords already? 11 Broodlords in that last fight, as we see him falling further and further behind in the unit loss tab. Resources lost. 19k against 11,000. So even though he mined a little more this game, he's actually feeling kind of behind at this point. Serral's army is more resource heavy and also just feels better. Mutas and Broodlords do have a bit of a timer on them, and I feel like the time was already over when the Broodlords finished morphing, basically. For a second I thought it was going to be fine, but Serral just repositioning those spores, making sure he was ready for the fight, helped him sufficiently. There are 3 spines here, will be able to deny any kind of roach harass at this point. 10 more Broodlords on the way, but it went so poorly last time. I don't really see what sOo thinks is going to happen here. I mean, there is still 5 Vipers. There's 3 more Vipers on the way. It's going to be 8 Vipers against 0 Vipers. Serral's like, I think I can just move out on the map at this point, and I honestly wouldn't disagree here. Oh, could pull a Broodlord here and there. Might just stay defensive for now, though. 5th base going down for Serral. Has been extremely cost efficient this game. sOo still, well, actually only at 62 works at this point, so actually even in income, like slightly more gas income, but less mineral income, but about even. And here once again, the spore wall of Serral, a bunch of mutas trying to do some damage, but they're completely useless. The moment they fly in, they will get parasitic bombed. Lots of pulls. This is like a suicide attack. Banelings running into lurkers, Broodlords flying into spores, or well, getting pulled into spores. Once again an attack that lost Serral 2k resources and lost sOo 6k resources. So 1 to 3 ratio. I think Serral minds trading like this at all. Boom! A couple of Banelings do end up killing a lurker, a Hydra and a spore, but 5 Broodlords do go down as well as 12 Banelings. It's absolutely terrible trades. Awful trades for an early game. For Serral that didn't even look that odd. Like his early game was fine, but then once the mutas were out, he took so much damage. His 4th base seemed impossible to get. We see single lurker harass over here. Do we have seismic spines? Yes, we do. So lurker's extra effective. This base is pretty much a goner at this point. There's 58 workers for sOo, who is down 70 supply. Feels like we're just waiting for Serral to move out at this point, but I don't think Serral is really feeling a move out, honestly. He is like, oh, you know what, mate? You know what, mate? I think I'm just gonna stay at home for a bit. So for every fight at home, I've won very convincingly, and you're the one that's on a timer, because the reason sOo can't really easily get into any kind of lurker is because the moment he transitioned into lurker, he'd be down 3 upgrades. And that's a real issue, of course. Like, he doesn't have any range upgrades, and lurker Viper really is the ultimate late game composition, but you can't really transition into it. The longer this game goes, the worse it's going to get, unless he somehow managed to get those lurker upgrades or these range upgrades out. But he really can't. 3-2 upgrades here for Serral, who is moving into 3-3. And then actually we'll have the ultimate late game army against someone who has 19 mutas, 6 Broodlords and 14 Lings. See a couple of extra Broodlords on the way. I think Serral might have had enough. There's 8 Vipers here, 9 Vipers here with his army, 3 Infestors still as well. Mutalisk are trying to make something happen here, trying to snipe lurkers in the back, but the moment they get parasitic bombed once, of course, it will be the end of the story for them. 3 spores will be able to push them away at this point. 1 parasitic bomb pushes in. Oh, Viper Pool won't be able to kill that. That's okay. Big Baneling run by does not get spotted as sOo still has this watchtower. Not a single lurker anymore. This might actually kill this base. Oh, sOo does end up killing the base. Gets 14 workers for his efforts as well. So that was actually a pretty nice trade. But these mutas are so useless at this point. Serral, I think, is playing a little bit too passive here. He isn't quite sure what position he's in. Oh. Couple of extra spores going down Serral, staying defensive once again. Now, of course, for Serral, it's difficult to know what his exact position is. He doesn't know the bank of his opponent. He doesn't quite know what his opponent is doing. So Serral's just playing it safe. He knew he was behind from the start, especially economically. But he doesn't know that sOo has only been on 64 workers for the past few minutes. Serral rebuilding 5 of his workers. Viper's in a little bit of a dicey position. Parasitic Bomb does get cast. Good micro here by sOo, just splitting it away. I like that. Muta barely doesn't die, of course. Can survive with a little bit of HP. 4 more roaches are on the way. No overseer. Still no spores and spines at every base for sOo either. And that definitely should be an indicator here for Serral that he probably doesn't quite have the eco that Serral used to believe he has. I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of stuff triggers an attack. On the other hand, why would he? He's been defending so well. Like I said, he's not the one that's on a timer for roaches moving into what was originally, I believe, the third base. Willenborough tried to get a couple of drones before the Mutalisk will end up killing them. Mutalisk only on, oh, actually on +3 attacks, so we'll be able to kill them rather fast. And here we have Serral once again pushing out on the map. There's one changeling. We'll be able to see this start. Couple of parasitic bombs going down on the Mutalisk, on the Broodlords. I feel like parasitic bomb by itself is just going to be able to win this fight, honestly. So many Vipers here. A lot of Mutas have gone down at this point. More Ultralisks are being built. And before the fight starts, the complete army is practically half HP. Now there is still a lot of Ultras. How many Lurkers do we have? We have 16 Lurkers. I mean, you can't really run into this with Ultra Bane. More parasitic bombs are going down, and without really losing a single unit, I think Serral is just going to explode every single air unit that sOo has ever had. 2 more Broodlords do end up, no one managed to stay alive. Baning run by, no, a single Ultra run by, but with these spores it's difficult to get vision as well. Banings are running in, but this is going to be the absolute Hail Mary play, and it doesn't work. sOo calls out GG, and Serral takes this game. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as it helps me a lot. And I'll see you all next time for a new video. Bye bye. Smash like.